of stand-up, because I am nostalgic, and teaching this class, I'm in my third year, is just wonderful for me, because I'm surrounded again by just creative, funny people, and the energy is so great. In fact, how about a hand for everybody on the show tonight? I started in January of 1980 at the Comedy Store, and I am nostalgic. I was on Alan Thicke's show, Thick of the Night, every week. Maybe a lot of money, and Alan passed away suddenly, so that was terrible for me. And I was on Joan Rivers every month, and Joan was a dear friend, and Joan passed away suddenly. I kind of wish I'd been on The Apprentice, but okay, that was my... You know, it works so well for Warren Harding. I thought I'd try it again. Happy Thanksgiving week to all of us, right? Yeah. I try to call my relatives early in the week because I don't want to spoil Thursday. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All the dysfunctional relatives. Oh, my Aunt Fern, the only Trumper in the family, called her today. She's 94, lives in Texas. You know the rest. She is so annoying. She's always complaining that nobody ever calls her, so I got her one of those "How am I driving?" bumper stickers. Again, that did well with Warren Harding and very few cars on the road. Yeah, she's still a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. We're big football fans in our family, and she's 94, still loves the Cowboys. We were down there actually about eight Thanksgivings ago, and she's in the den watching the game, and we hear, "Touchdown, Cowboys!" 20 seconds later, we hear, "Touchdown, Cowboys!" And first, the instant replay. They scored one time. Shut up and go mess up traffic. That's all right. So we just sent off our doggy DNA today. Anyone done the doggy DNA? I mean, not for you, but for your pet. It would be funny if you were like part Dalmatian, wouldn't it be? You mix them up and you give it. Actually, Trump has a 23andMe. It's just called Me, and you send in your DNA and he sends you shit about himself. So that's. Who's got dogs? Who's got dogs? Lots of. See, what kind of dog you have?
Kind of a mutt mix.
Mutt mix? Have you done the DNA?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, my husband and I had an argument. He didn't want to know, but I wanted to know. So I'm going to know and not tell him, but tell the dog. So that's the way it works. And we just had our cat neutered at the same time. He goes out at night now, but only as a consultant. So. Okay, now we're getting the 1920s vibe. That killed. In DC. You guys ready for a great show tonight? I really handed you coming out on a very rainy and wet Sunday to support your friends. I have loved Fall Quarter 2024. I love all my students. These are special to me. You're in store for a wonderful show. Please welcome to start out the night. She's so funny. From down in California, Kristen Luchin. Bring her up, ladies and gentlemen. Kristen Luchin.
Native Oregonian, so thank you for that setup. But
I forgot.
before all of you start judging me for this hat, I just want you to know I've been wearing these for over a decade. So don't lump me in with the rest of those fair weather LA sports fans that show up at Game 7. I'm in a completely entire category of my own. I don't even know when baseball season is. But as you look at my face, growing up in Portland, you can tell I don't quite fit the bill. Probably also all of you, right? You wouldn't pick me up at your local American Kennel Club certified breeder. I do get a lot of questions like, is she Hawaiian? Is she, from South America? Pretty much every continent you can imagine. My favorite one of all, though, is, do you play basketball? No to all of the above. My mom's actually Japanese. And my dad is Caucasian, also native Oregonian as well, represent. And it was really important for my mom that I really be bestowed a lot of our Japanese heritage and culture. And so one of the most important ones of that is the food, right? I feel like everyone in here can agree, Japanese food rocks. And you have sushi, ramen, my personal favorite, tempura. But again, you have to be very careful when you're cooking tempura. You don't want it to get too overcooked. Us Japanese, we don't like things to be extra crispy, especially after 1945. there's a fine line you have to ride when you're only half Japanese. But, yeah. But, so, Japanese food, my mom would prepare these amazing lunches for me as a kid. I'd be in pre-K showing up with these, 5-course bento box lunches that, had, some grilled salmon, some sauteed vegetables, some flavored rice of some sort. But the kids at the time, again, this was, the 90s, they weren't exposed to the type of, cultural, culinary, diversity that we are today. So they're leaning over, they're just like, what is that? Why? It smells. What the hell is seaweed? And, again, it was a little bit traumatic as a kid, but, now looking back, I'm just kind of like, it's not like Cameron and Sarah's, tuna fish or egg salad sandwiches are necessarily making the place smell like a Bath and Body Works. So there is a special place in hell for people that eat canned tuna in public settings, I have to say. But what we wanted as kids more than anything, and I think we could agree with the white kids too, was Lunchables. I don't know if you are all old enough or young enough to remember Lunchables or, craft foods. But those things, I could mainline those things all day. Sign me up for stale Ritz crackers, medium cheddar cheese, and some gray mystery deli meat that looks like it's been cured for about 20 years in Subway Jared's basement. Eat fresh. But, I think some guy at Kraft Foods 30 years ago walked into a boardroom and was just like, you guys, I got it. Charcuterie for children. No wonder millennials are hooked on cheese boards or overpay for avocado toast and call it a meal, right? I actually did my field research. I looked up Lunchables, actually, and they're only $1.99 today. You can pick one up at your local Target. And I kind of found that a little alarming, though, at the same time. I would have expected, $3.99, with these macroeconomic headwinds that we've been facing for a while, especially after COVID. Because those things retailed for, only $1.50 back in 1995. So I'm just like, so are you telling me that you've only upped your MSRP about 33% over the last 30 years? I don't know what they're putting in those things, but, Kraft Foods is probably just like, well, kids' nutrition, fuck them. Speaking of kids, the Surgeon General actually came out with a warning a few months ago, I don't know if you read about this, that parenting is actually hazardous to your health. Say less, right? But, my husband and I, we do have some people in our orbit that are like, hey, you guys would make great parents, parenting's so wonderful. Two of them are sitting right there, oh, don't you want to get some grandkids? And, having kids is so much fun. Well, if it's so much fun, how come every time I see new parents, they look like Leonardo DiCaprio at the end of The Revenant, just brutal. My husband and I have kind of demanding jobs, so on the weekends we like to kind of, don't make really solid plans. And a couple weeks ago, he went out to golf. That's how he decompresses, or fishing. And I was like, I'm just gonna stay in bed all morning because I fucking can. And so I'm on TikTok doing whatever you do, and I'm finally kind of rudely disturbed at 11 a.m. So I have to get out of bed to go pick up my DoorDash breakfast. But it's not like we spend every weekend like that. But you know what that weekend was made possible by? Financial uncertainty, crippling anxiety, and the pull-out method. But, we're not like child-hating monsters, but we do have a 73-month-old dog, and he's lovely. He's adorned all over our social media feeds. You know who wouldn't post about me on social media, though? My mom. More in her defense, more because she can't. But no, lovely woman. But growing up in an Asian household, I think your entire life is a bit of one giant roast. Your aunt that you haven't seen in a few years is like, "Oh, Kristen! Oh my God, you've put on some weight." She's grabbing at your midsection like she's ejecting a tape out of a VHS player. Kate, the best one. My friend and I, this is an actual story. We were, heading out. We were 12 years old. We were heading out to go to the mall on our own, unchaperoned. And, big day for us, young women. Future is looking bright. And my friend's mom's like, okay, girls, you're getting older, but just remember, still, don't talk to strangers, especially strange men. And most importantly, don't let anybody touch you. And so then, my mom just starts cackling. And she's like, nobody's gonna touch Kristen. So I spent my entire 20s trying to prove her wrong. But, growing up multiracial, it's not so bad. And growing up Asian, the good outweighs the bad. But I think there's a little room for us to kind of have some therapy. I think the Asian culture kind of bury our emotions a little bit, right? So, my family's are just like, oh, you're feeling your feels? Here's some origami paper. Fold those feelings away. I've looked into therapy, but, why pay for therapy when I could just sign up for an intro to stand-up comedy class and guilt trip my family into listening to me rain on about my emotional baggage for 10 minutes. You have been lovely. Thank you very much.
Kristen Luchin, ladies and gentlemen. Kristen. Keep it going, Kristen Luchin. Very tough to get up for the first time and make people laugh, and the first one on the show. Keep it going one more time. I love that bit about who's going to touch her, so I spent my 20s. Actually, kind of a similar thing for me when I was in college. My mom told me I should be attracted to more masculine things, so I started dating men. And, by the way, sign up for the class. It's great therapy. Ditch your therapist, pay the money here. PortlandComedy.com is the website. You can sign up for improv, stand-up, a million courses here, storytelling, and it's right worth it. And actually, since, Kristen, you told in your first bit there, reminded me that we have a second Sunday here. We're off in December, but we'll pick up again in January. Second Sunday of each month. There's a show here at 7:30. We'll have 3 of my students, plus 2 or 3 of my students and a headliner. And it's a great show, so mark your calendars for the second Sunday in January. And your first bit reminded me that in October, my good friend Milt Abel, who's been doing it for 41 years, comedy, and he talked about going to Japan. I'm going to tell you his bit. And that he did a lot of cruise ships, so they docked in Japan. And he said, we went to Hiroshima. And it was really rainy and overcast. He goes, not the best day to be in Hiroshima, but not the worst. All right, at that point, the atomic part of the show's over. So you don't have to worry about nuclear Armageddon until January 20th. So, thank you for getting that. I'm honored. You're already in my class. All right, good. Coming to the stage now, I always say this because he's the youngest student I've had. He's 19 years old, and the oldest we've had is 83. He opened for me at the Harding. It's a great day for America. Anyway, he has the comic maturity of a much older guy. Very funny. Please welcome Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. Jethro!
Hello. All right. So, any of you have a prison uncle? Or was that just me? Let me explain. A prison uncle is not an uncle that has gone to prison, but someone that your parent has met in prison and then decided to be friends with outside of prison. And prison uncles, they're really going to teach you the important stuff, like exactly what an eighth of weed should feel like in your hand. Or, in their own words, the proper, yet still very illegal way to purchase a firearm. It wasn't all just, valuable life lessons. They were good for a few laughs here and there. Like, this one time my prison uncle, he was taking me to school. Well, not to school, but to the bus stop downtown so I could catch that to go to school. And when we get to the bus stop, we see the bus that I'm supposed to be on is leaving the stop. So I get out of the car and I start running down the street after the bus. And he gets out of the car and starts running down the street after me after the bus. And as the bus rounds the corner, and we're not going to catch it, I turn around and I see him go, "Ha! You've just been fucked by the city of Portland. The city of Portland has fucked you, young man." Now, it wasn't all just laughs with them. You know, they like to give good long lectures, mostly fueled by meth, which I don't know about you guys, but if my teacher was on meth every day, I would have paid so much more attention in school. Oh my God, just bright and early, 7 a.m.
All right, kids, fucking look at me. All right, look, this is Einstein. He did E equals MC squared or some shit. What the fuck is that? Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. It was Bush, children. It was Bush.
Okay. So, I'm in this weird kind of stage in my life. I like to call it the in-between years because my childhood is effectively over now. But adulthood hasn't quite started, which means there is jack shit to do. Oh my God. So, me and my friends have started to run out of things to talk about. One of the most predominant conversations for us was, what is the minimum amount of money you would take to suck a dick? And while everyone's throwing out numbers, 100,000, 50,000, I'm thinking, especially at our age, at some point, anywhere like 1,000 or above, it's just a financially irresponsible decision, okay? And I mean, $250, oh, you know how many fucking vapes that can buy? That could fuel my nicotine addiction for like a month and a half. Now, I've been a proud supporter of China's nicotine for roughly 7 years now. All it took was one trip to the bathroom in the 8th grade, and they got me, all right? But I feel like the flavors are starting to get a little out of hand. I have one right now called Sour Watermelon Drop, which I can only assume tastes like unicorn pussy. And I saw one that was Leprechaun Cum Shot, which I'm not even gonna fucking try and find out what that is. They also have one called Di Jiao Shou Ying Dao, which is unicorn pussy in Chinese. Sometimes they don't translate the flavors. So, I'm not 21 yet, which means buying these things is a little difficult, but luckily for me and a certain unnamed establishment have a agreement, so to speak. I'm proud to say I've reached boss man status, which means when I walk in, the guy behind the counter calls me boss man, and my dick gets just a little hard. The best part about having these kind of connections is I get to get all the cool lore from the store and everything, and my store has a lot. They've gotten robbed so many times, but by far, the latest one was the best. Long story short, they got Looney Tunes robbed, which means the guy broke into the store next door, took out a saw, and cut a fucking hole in the wall and crawled through. When I went in that day and saw the giant fucking hole in the wall, I asked the guy, and he showed me the security cam footage. And as I'm watching the guy crawl through this tiny little hole he cut in the wall, I'm thinking, man, it looks kind of familiar. And then it clicked when I saw him look up at the security camera and go, "You've just been fucked by the city of Portland. The city of Portland has fucked you." All right, thank you.
Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. I love having Jethro in class. He calls me boss man, and I waived his tuition just for that. One more time for Jethro. I tried vaping material in 1920, didn't work at all. Patrick mentioned I was on radio. I spent 10 years on progressive radio in Portland, starting in 2007. And the first 6 years on KPOJ, and 3 days after President Obama was reelected, it was the greatest job of my life other than teaching this class. And we were everyone was laid off because they flipped the format of KPOJ from progressive talk to syndicated sports. I love sports, but I didn't like being out of a job. It was my dream job. So I was very depressed about it, and this was my low. I had the job I always wanted, political radio, and I was driving home. I'm going to tell my husband Gary that I've been laid off. Worse than that, what am I going to do with my life? Just driving around depressed. So, you know, and everyone says it's so easy to be a liberal in Portland. It wasn't on that day because I just drove home, drove in the garage, put the garage door down and kept the car running. And after about 20 minutes, I realized I have an electric car. So I got laid off, but I got a good joke out of it. So that was our Nissan Leaf. You have an electric, you have a Leaf, don't you? You got 2 Leafs. Well, they're Leaves. Oh, you got a Bolt. A Leaf and a Bolt. Oh, good. So we had our Leaf for quite a while, and in April, we just bought, Gary and I bought a new EV, and we can't tell you which EV we bought. And I've come to realize it's a very unusual time in Portland because I can be out about my gay relationship, but in the closet about my Tesla. So, welcome to 2024, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are. Our neighbors are relentless. They call us the sons of Elon. I don't even know if that's in the fucking Bible, but, you know. Are you ready for more, more comedy, ladies and gentlemen? By the way, Mark Gurman is coming up soon, and Mark is not only going to thrill you with laughs, but he's going to do a lecture for you on safety. And if anyone's seen this lecture, I'm sure you'll come back again and again for it. And Mark actually brought his son here to, you know, to hear about safety. Right. You weren't safe that night, you were making love. Wasn't safe that night. But,
no pull-up method there.
Yeah, okay.
Too soon.
Oh! Ooh la la, so soon. All right, and Jeff O'Malley's here. Jeff, we got friends of Jeff here. Okay, you're all here to see Jeff. That's good. Now, Jeff's very funny, and all the people are, including our next performer. She's wonderful. I think it's a 3rd class she's taken with me. Wonderful perspective on the world, very comedic. Alice Carrier, ladies and gentlemen. Alice! Alice! Come on, all the way up. Come on.
15 minutes of Hello. Carl, give it up for Carl. Wow. I had to stop flying with drugs in my bag. I know. I didn't get in trouble, but I got called out. My friend got in my head. I was giving her a ride to the airport, and she was like, I have a joint in my bag. Do you think they're going to take it? Do you think they're going to take it at security? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. I fly with drugs sometimes. She was like, really? That's really surprising. I was like, why? She was like, well, you kind of look like you would get searched for drugs at the airport. And I was like, fuck, why? She was like, she got in my head, so I thought, well, I guess I should stop. So I did, and it's really relaxing. It's relaxing to go through airport security without drugs in your bag. I knew I had to stop because I thought it was funny that she said that, and I was telling people about it. I was like, I do believe that whatever I joke about returns to me. So I had to stop, but I was right. I was coming home from LA, and I didn't even make it to the escalator. A security guard just looks at me, and he's like, excuse me. Let me see your boarding pass. And I was like, I don't have any drugs in my bag. Thank you very much. I was really happy. I don't know, I gotta be responsible. I'm somebody's mother. I know sometimes people think I don't look like somebody's mother. My toxic trait as a mother is that I have cool aunt energy. You know, but it's fun, and it means that I do weird shit. Like I've accidentally tried to convince my kid to smoke cigarettes a bunch, because
Because every time I tell them not to, I just think about how much I loved every cigarette I ever smoked. I get nostalgic. It reminds me of this lady. One time I was smoking a cigarette outside of a bar downtown, and this lady stopped and stood next to me. She was like, damn, that smells good. I quit smoking 5 years ago, and my doctor told me to, and you know what? I don't feel any better at all. I enjoy that cigarette, and I did. I enjoyed every cigarette I ever smoked, but I quit smoking in 2006. I haven't had tobacco cigarettes since 2006. I smoke a lot. I do smoke a lot of weed, but not cigarettes. You guys like hippies? Yeah, thank you. That's nice. Sometimes, depends. I'm from the West Coast. From the best coast. And I take a lot of hippie advice. I got kind of into like homemade skincare for a while. And I know I had to stop because I was putting this like homemade moisturizer on my face and I smelled it and I was like, it kind of smells like salad dressing. And then I thought about what was in it and I realized it was literally salad dressing. And then I realized hippies use salad dressing like fucking duct tape. They're doing everything with it. They're cleaning the floors. I have it on my face. It's terrible. They give okay advice sometimes. They convinced me eventually to start meditating. But I was averse at first. I was like, I don't know, I'm so uptight. Like, I don't think I can meditate. You gotta be chill to meditate. Did you know that people who meditate are not chill at all? Yeah, you don't have to put yourself in timeout at 6 o'clock in the morning before anything bad happens if you're a chill person. Go about your business. And I bought the lie. I thought the West Coast was laid back. Everyone says it's laid back. If the West Coast is so laid back, then how come you can get a kombucha at any truck stop on the I-5? Why is it a hub for probiotics? If it was laid back, then how come everybody has tummy trouble? We're high-strung people. I think it's okay. My girlfriend asked me if I was conflict avoidant, and I was like, why? Scared the hell out of me. Girlfriend scared the hell out of me. But Portland's a good place to have a girlfriend, because everybody has a special girlfriend menu at their restaurant. It's amazing. You get GF pizza, GF bagels. Girlfriends love that shit. They go crazy for it. But I had to break up with her because she got a tarot card tramp stamp. And reverse cowgirl just freaked me out. Had to let it go. Yeah, what else? Oh, God, I'm not wise. I thought I wanted to be a cougar. No. Now that I'm old, it's not for me. It's not the vibe. I can't date anyone who has ever gotten so excited that they... Right? But then also... It doesn't work for me. But also, like, you can't quote movies, because I haven't seen any of the movies. And so I was like, said something like, you know what they say, be excellent to each other. And this guy's like, whoa, I'm gonna write that down. Don't! Please don't. I don't know. I got roasted by ChatGPT. Have you ever been roasted by ChatGPT? I used a big word. I used the word recapitulate in a sentence. Don't judge me, I listen to tech podcasts, but she repeated it back to me in quotation marks. That's dark, right? I can't help it if I'm pretentious. I'm an artist. Being pretentious is my literal job. That's my actual job, is being pretentious. But I like it when I'm not the most pretentious person, so I can relax a little. I was in Bend, Oregon one time. I was in Bend, Oregon getting a cup of coffee. I had a couple little kids with me. I got a couple of hot chocolates for 2 8-year-olds. And I watched this, like, you know, fancy apron fellow. He was like, would you like whipped cream on your hot chocolates? And the kids are like, hell yeah, they're 8. And he pulls out a metal bowl and a big whisk. It was like 8 minutes. That was pretty rough, but you know, it was nice. It was a win, and you know, you gotta let other people be more pretentious than you. It feels good. The best one was I was in Clackamas. There was a beautiful lady with her baby, and we were standing in line at Old Navy, and the lady behind the counter was like, "Oh, what's your baby's name?" And the lady goes, "Capri." And the Old Navy lady goes, "Wow, like the pant?" Oh, this lady was so bummed. This baby's only like 4 months old. She's had this conversation so many times. And she just like looks off in the middle distance. She's like, "Yeah, or like the island in Italy." Yes! Not the most pretentious person in Clackamas. Thank you very much.
Alice Carrier, ladies and gentlemen. Alice! I love pretentious people. One more time for Alice. Did you really give up smoking cigarettes in 2006?
Yes, I did.
That's-
January 1st, 2006.
But evidently speed is still on the menu. Jeez. Class is over. All right. That's when I gave up fast food. I actually remember. I was at Burger King, and I ordered a burger, and the woman behind the counter gave me the burger. Then she said to me, "Would you like to contribute to cancer research?" So I gave her back the burger. How you doing, Tom? You're looking at the floor like, oh God, my dad's on. So have you been to a comedy show before?
No, I haven't.
No? Really? How old are you?
23.
23. Oh, and you haven't laughed in 23 years?
It's very
Fuck it, and I thought, you know, Trump winning was the end of the world, but now, what do you do at 23?
Jack shit.
I think laughter would be good for you. Therapy, 1 and 2. Okay, I'm just doing this so you'll be really excited to see his dad come up here, who's responsible. Yeah, Gary and I are celebrating our 27th anniversary in December 13th, and it's great, it really is, but it's, you know, it's not exactly after 27 years, it's not the early years. I mean, a couple of months ago, he said something really funny. I said, "Oh, you should take my class, my comedy class." He goes, "Well, I've taken that class." and the meals aren't as special as they were when we were dating 27 years ago. A couple of months ago, he's at the table, he goes, "Is there anything worse than hard butter? Genocide? I don't know." I bring up genocide just to add to your depression. It was the atomic jokes earlier, genocide. We're trying to give you what you need tonight to keep that losing streak going. All right, sorry. I'm just pissed because you're young and I fucking hate you. All right. That's what it really is. Comedy's about truth, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about truth. Join us now, a student I've really enjoyed having. In fact, Phil came to see his friend Idris. Idris took at least three of my classes. Idris, well, I had one of my favorite students in stand-ups. This is fantastic. And Phil was at a couple shows to see Idris, just like you're here to see your friends or relatives. And Phil signed up, took the class. He's been exceptional, and you're going to enjoy him now. Please welcome Phil Noor, ladies and gentlemen. Phil! There he is.
Hello. My name is Phil Knorr. It is a below average name in terms of length. It is my own fault though. It is short for Philip with 2 L's. That's the right way to spell it. No further questions. Oh,
Easier.
listen, no further questions. I started going by Phil at a young age. I think it was a way to kind of differentiate the people in my life. Like at school, I was Phil, and then at home, I was Philip, right? Like it was, 4th grade, and I was really trying to work on that work-life balance. Like I'm here. Not what you mean. And I discovered this kind of change when I was home recently. I was looking through old, schoolwork that my mom had kept and saw sort of this shift in the name of my assignments from Philip to Phil. And it got me nostalgic. And I'm generally a nostalgic person. My wife is also very nostalgic. But she's nostalgic about like gruesome homicides from the 80s and 90s. Like true crime, every podcast. We watch Dateline more than most people. I don't know what 2020 is other than just gruesome death. And it's tough because as we watch all of these programs, or I listen to them because I can't. I watch all these programs. It's tough to be the husband of someone who watches these because, as we know, it's always the
Husband.
right, which is tough as a husband. It's like I can't do anything at home without it feeling suspicious, right? Like I'm chopping vegetables and she's just like looking at me. Or like I'm trying on these new leather gloves that I got. Or she's questioning me about this bank statement because there's an industrial grade ice box that I bought. And I'm like, this is paranoia, it's not what you think it is. We are actually thinking about having kids, which is exciting, right? Starting that family planning, so, it's not the husband, I swear. But so I'm kind of waiting, right? Because I think it's always like more likely or it's a better story. I'm probably gonna get a Netflix miniseries if it's the wife and the kids. I'll wait. Just gonna wait. I'm nostalgic about a different period of our history. Maybe you've heard of it. It's early COVID. I'm talking April 2020. It was a magical time. I don't know if you remember, but we were all doing our part just by staying home. We were heroes. We were banging pots. Like you were sitting on the couch and you had a peanut butter and jelly for dinner. And that was therapy. You're like, I made this bread myself. This is what I need. I'm being safe. I have my sphere. I'm not going outside that. And I'm nostalgic for that time because it was so, we didn't know what was going to happen. Obviously that was not ideal, but that time was really nice. But it is interesting that time, I think about that a lot because our COVID actually started off kind of unfortunately. We had a fire in our apartment building. So this was the Friday after Portland had completely shut down. So this is like March 20th. So the fridge was stocked, it was awesome. We had toilet paper. But so Friday night, midnight, my wife and I wake up and there's a ringing out in the hallway, right? So you're like, okay, that's kind of unusual. Go to the front door. We were on the 8th floor, so front door to the hallway. We're renting. Look out the people, don't see anything, okay. Open the front door, wall of black smoke. Shut the door, and I turn to my wife and I say, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Which is, I can admit, is alarming, because normally on a Friday night, I'll close the door and be like, we gotta fuck. But so the situation became clear immediately. So we grab our phones, we get the dog, we get to the front door, and we're sitting there. You know, we just like share this moment. And if you have, you know, a partner or someone special in your life, you know that look. You know, we're in the ready position. We're like this. We just like share this moment where like we're on the same page. We know exactly what we're gonna do. It's me and you. Don't worry, we got this. So we're like this, she's in front, she throws open the door, we run to the hallway, I get to the stairwell, open the door, just me and the dog. No wife. So, which is alarming for a lot of reasons, but I think what's really tough is that if this is our front door, this is the stairwell door. This is to scale. This is about 6 feet. So my search area was pretty small, but still very concerning. So I don't know what to do. So a neighbor comes out from the smoke, and I hand him my dog, and I'm like, thanks, hold on to my dog, I gotta go look for my wife. So I get down on my hands and knees, and I'm crawling through the hallway, yelling after her, have my hand on the wall so I don't lose track. I don't know where I learned fire safety, but I absolutely crushed it. I was like, so if you're in school, listen to that at your next fire test, I don't know what they're called. But so I crawl down the hallway, get to the elevator, no wife. Gotta turn around, come back, get to the stairwell, look at the neighbor, I'm like, all right, I guess we gotta go. And at that moment, it was longer than that. It was a moment of mourning. But at that moment, she comes up the stairs up, and we make eye contact. Same moment of, all right, we're on the same page. But this time it was like, let's go down the stairs. It was very clear. So I sweep up the dog, we run downstairs, we get out. Turns out that one of the units on our floor was completely engulfed in flames. Which was, no one died, which is great. But just as an aside, let's just look at the fire safety in comparison. Closest exit, this is me. Closest exit, didn't run back towards the fire. Wife, furthest exit, ran down the stairs, ran across to the other stairwell, ran back up to the fire. It wasn't a competition, but I won. We talk about it to this day. So we get out, you know, fire truck, ambulance, everyone's there. And EMTs take one look at us and they're like, you gotta go to the hospital. So get in the ambulance, they send 6 people that night to the hospital for smoke inhalation, 1 person with minor burns. That was me, I had rug burns on my knees. So after a couple hours in the ER, we got oxygen, we got discharged. They said, hey, make an appointment with your primary care in a couple weeks to follow up, just to make sure there aren't any long-term effects from smoke inhalation. Great. So I make the appointment, and I'm thinking, ooh, they're gonna test my lungs. Maybe I'm gonna do like the little blow the hole or the ball in the tube thing. Maybe I'm gonna be like on a treadmill with like the CPAP or whatever it is. That didn't happen. It was not very cool. So I go to the appointment, just a regular doctor's appointment, shuttle me back to the room, sit down. Doctor comes in, and I'm like, well, how am I looking, doc? And he just looks at me and says, depressed. So I'm still in lung mode, so I'm like, my lungs are they low? Like, what does that mean for my health? Is that really bad? And he just goes, no, I think you have depression. And that's like, when they say that, like the stars align, you're like, oh yeah, I definitely. For sure. It just took you ignoring the physical harm that I endured to just be like, it's worse than your lungs. So anyway, you get the meds, it's fine. It's fine. But I'm at that point in life where I have a lot of friends. So I'm 33, so I have a lot of friends who are entering into that midlife kind of area. Like white guys are sad for the first time. Yeah, it's not as fun anymore. But, ever since I came out as depressed, all of my friends come to me, I think, for guidance or sage wisdom. They're like, tell me how to, I don't know, still be sad. I don't know what they're looking for. I think they're looking for advice, help me feel better. And what they get is like the concierge at the Depresh Inn, where I'm like, oh, you're gonna love your stay. We have a couch where you sleep. We have, every room has a movie that you've already seen. A shower you can think about using. We have an all-you-can-eat, if you could eat, buffet. And the waffle maker doesn't work. It's great. But the truth is, they come looking for guidance or whatever, and I want them to stay sad because I want to fulfill this dream I have of, like, being in an emo band. Like, I've been working on this since 2005. Just like millennial dudes, just like really late into the genre. My Chemical Romance, Panic at the Drugstore, Taking Back Sunday Scaries. We got a few more in there. Someday Real Estate, Keyboard Professional, Jimmy Ate Dairy. That's my time, thank you.
Phil Moore, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Moore! Wow. Keep it going for Phil. I love having Phil in class. He calls me boss man, and Phil's wife is here, Andrea. Andrea, come on. So I said to Phil in the green room, I said, Andrea's going to be here. They're fucking both younger than me. This pisses me off. So I said, does Andrea get equal time for your fire story? And he said she would. He seemed to think you have an opposing view of things.
I wish I did.
Well, I wish you did too, because I'm trying to kill time here. You and I are in sync here.
I always say we have rules now that shouldn't have to be stated. In case of emergency, I'm going to get a tattoo. 1, stay together. 2, take the closest exit. I did neither.
Right. You just accepted defeat. That's a great marriage right there.
He wins this one.
He wins this one. Okay, what's one that he wouldn't win?
Oh boy. I don't have time for that.
Okay, well, time's up. Give Andrea a round of applause. How many years have you been married?
We've been married 4 years, but we've been together 14. We got married.
So, wait a minute. So you've been married 4 years and it feels like 14, or?
We married the day before our 10-year anniversary.
Oh, nice. Very good.
4
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah. Gary and I got married. It was annulled. We got married again, and it stood.
Yeah,
So-
that's why we waited, to avoid.
Because of our annulment? Yeah. I don't know. I just never had luck talking to women. Okay, one more time for Phil. It's great work. We have 2 more and Andrea. Well, a moment has arrived. Is that too much energy for you?
I got overwhelmed.
Yeah. Does your dad pay you for this? He does?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you take out for Social Security and Medicare? Good for you, putting them on the path to work. Mark has been a pleasure to have in class along with Andrea Matthews, who is his partner. And does this make... Really, what do you do with a smattering of applause? You know, Andrea deserves, she deserves more than that. Andrea? Meet Andrea. Yeah.
Andrea.
Go over fire safety later.
Andrea.
What's that?
She's Andrea.
Andrea, and you're Andrea?
Correct.
Oh, okay. We've reached the point where the teacher knows jack shit, ladies and gentlemen, especially first names. So, have you seen your dad do the safety lecture before?
No, I haven't.
Wow. Your answer to every question is no. And I love that. Well, you're going to like it. Everyone will love it. Please welcome Mark Gurman, ladies and gentlemen. I almost said Gurman. It's Mark Gurman!
All right, today there's a lot of teachers out here, right? Okay, you're gonna get a class. So there. So I'm Mark Gurman. We're doing a class today on safety. The name of the class is Safety, Slips, Trips, and Falls. And I've been certified since 1970. Certified, and I got my certification in Boy Scouts. I took a safety merit badge, and the safety merit badge is a great thing. I got to go on a tour of a processing plant, and I was able to tell them all their safety violations. And since then, I've been on my way to being an instructor. And I haven't taken any classes since then, but I can spot a safety violation like the best of them. So today's class is on safety. In Boy Scouts, the safety merit badge is a green cross. The putt people have stolen that for their own thing. So I just want you to know that this is the Boy Scout original safety merit badge cross. So today we're going to go over a science lecture, because it's the science of safety, and it's basically just like any kind of science class that you've ever been in. The first lesson is a physics class here, which is the mechanisms of injury and death. And these are categories where you can receive either one. The first is being struck by, and that's like if you're walking in Portland and you're out by PDX is getting a door or a wheel falling out of the sky and hitting you. The second is strike against, where you're actually the one doing the striking. Running into a wall, banging your head against the door, whatever. Then we have excessive force. Excessive force is trying to exert yourself too much. It's like pushing a rock up a hill or overloading a wheelbarrow. You don't want to do that. And you really need to change your habits with how you work and how you approach life. The other is contact, which is self-explanatory. Overexertion. Now, overexertion can happen a lot of different ways. It can be either physical or mental. So at work, you only want to do 50% of work. No matter what you do, whether it's mental or physical, just give them 50%. No more. Next category on that is near miss. Now, a near miss can be fatal when it's not near. Just be careful. Near miss is it's low. It's low on the chart, but it's still potential for death. Lastly, we have caught in between, which is in confined spaces. There's a lot of people that die in the restaurant industry and in the grocery store industry by trash compactors and cardboard balers. Cardboard balers is especially dangerous. Cardboard is a great material to lay down on. It molds to your body, and it has a great earthy smell to it. You take a nap. And there's been a lot of grocery workers that go to the back and they take an unofficial break. And they take an unofficial break sitting in the cardboard baler, and then somebody presses the button. It usually ends in death. So you don't want to get caught in between anywhere. Any questions on that, or has anybody hurt themselves, gotten hurt on this? Has anybody in the audience hurt?
Yeah, I recently literally died at the end of August when a car hit me on my bike, and I was clinically dead there for a little while.
Oh.
So I think it falls under that.
Yeah, bicycle riding is tough. You have to wear one of these when you ride a bike.
You know what? I did, and I still it
So,
tried to kill me.
It did. And where did you get injured on? What part of your body?
I have a brain injury, which hopefully is recovering, and then I had multiple bone breaks around the left side of my body where I hit the ground.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the body thing later. We don't need to know right now. But I'm sorry to hear that. But as you can see, the head is low. So it should not have been a problem. So class, please. This is by the frequency of injury or death by body parts. So the highest, of course. Can anyone tell me the most likely area of the body to get hurt? Very good, very good. So we're starting at the bottom and working our way up on this. So the knees, a lot of people get hurt praying or looking for something. If you're looking for something at home, you get down on your knees. It's usually the place where you get hurt the most. Hand, wrist, and finger usually ends in death. These injuries here. Your leg is a huge organ. And as a result, you don't want to be walking out into the sidewalk and stick your leg out. You know, when a bus can hit it. That would be devastating. We have arms, of course. Arms are connected to your hand, wrist, and finger. And then your hip. We're getting to the midsection here. Your hip, your ribs, and your buttocks. Your buttocks can be hurt in many different ways. We won't get into details here because young people in the audience. I haven't seen any. But oh yeah, there's one. So we're not going there. And then we have unclassified. Unclassified is a huge area. Groin, of course. The groin usually doesn't end in death, but it is very painful. Then thigh and head is on the bottom. And the reason the head is on the bottom is it's the least frequent thing to get injured, but it's actually the most frequent thing for death. But it's not very many, so that's on the bottom. I don't know why. That's where it is. Our third lesson here involves chemistry. We have the materials of injury are dry and wet. And all you physics teachers will know exactly what we're talking about here. Or your physics teacher, can you name a dry material?
Powders.
Powder, yes. Powder. Very good. You have clip notes, don't you? On your hand here. So, powders. Baby powder or foot powder. You need to put that on outside. Take your shoes outside and put that on outside because that's very dangerous on a wooden floor. Sawdust. You're cutting some wood. It's very, very slippery. Any kind of plastic inside the house whatsoever. Any kind of plastic. I'm a firm believer of natural materials. You should always dress in wool, canvas, and leather. Those are the only 3 things you can dress in. And wool especially. Wool is inflammable. It won't light up. And, right? Right. Yeah. Have you ever seen a sheep burst into flames? So, and then rolling stock. Rolling stock can be anything from a ball, and my favorite rolling stock item at home is the back roller. That thing, you know what I mean. It's in the middle of the floor, at the middle of the night, you gotta go to the bathroom, and there's that rolling stock right in the middle of the floor. You be careful. And the wet side has more, mostly because of bodily fluids and blood. But on the top of this is oil. Usually you find that in the kitchen, or you can find it in the bedroom too. Water, there's plenty of this shit here in Portland. Careful with water. And plenty of mud. Food. It's been proven that the #1 food is the banana. So you be careful. And bodily fluids, blood, and other chemicals. I was out in my garage, and I work on my bicycle out there. As you can see, I got a bicycle helmet, and I do bicycling, and I was working the wrench on my bike, and I slipped, and I jammed my hand up against the chain ring, and I started to bleed out. And so I ran, you know, I ran all the way, a little pool of blood in my palm, all the way to the sink, and I washed it and got some Band-Aids on it. And I came back out in the garage, and I proceeded to slip on my bodily fluids, and it hit my head. And I came back to the garage after I was all set, and then I realized, what you realize is that you can use, these are individually on this side are all dangerous, and this side is all dangerous here, but you can mix the 2 of them to counteract. So I took some sawdust and put it on the fluids, and that made it safe. But you can do that with any of these. The powders can counteract your food situation, the plastic can counteract your water. So just remember that as a safety tip. You can take your bad dry items and your good wet items. Yeah. So anyhow, some of the things you need to learn. I learned these in Boy Scouts too. I took Pioneering Merit Badge, which I'm probably going to do a class on that at some point. And always carry one of these here. Always keep one of these in your pocket. And very important. But a lot of people have ropes around that aren't coiled. You need to learn how to coil things like garden hoses. You know, you all have garden hoses all running all around the little plants that you put out there in Portland. You know, you don't want grass, so you got to have all this plant stuff everywhere. You got to learn how to coil up a garden hose, and also electrical extension cords. You need to coil them up properly. If they get all kinked, in that you could get electrocuted when you plug them in. That's not a happy thing. But it's very important in Portland to have a coil rope with you at all times. Those are very important. And the reason being is, like, you could be, you know, a lot of different places in Portland when an earthquake hits, but the worst is on the 405. And the 405 is, you're on the 405, you're going to need a rope so that you can rappel down to the Willamette. You rappel down to the Willamette. It's not that bad. You rappel down to the Willamette. You get in the water. You tuck yourself into a little ball like this, and you can float down to St. John's and get off on the pier safely. You know, don't come crying to me that you don't have a rope with you when you're on the bridge. 'Cause I'm not going to go into your garage and go and find your rope that's coiled up in the corner. And most of you in your garages, you have nails sticking out all over the place at like 5 feet high. And go into your garage and poke my eye out? No way. Make sure you have a rope and coil it, coil it nicely. Tom, you can have this rope. You're going to need a longer one if you're on the 405. So you all want to make sure that you wear the proper PPE, for all occasions. It's actually, is it safe to ride a bike in Portland more so than anywhere else? What's the consensus? Oh, come on. Give me a no. It's not. Well, I don't think it is. It's not safer.
I agree.
And I like to be safe, but in Portland, when you're riding your bike and going like 10, 15 miles an hour, there's always some car that kind of creeps up behind you and just won't pass. Being from Massachusetts, I'm like, come on, let's go, and they still won't pass. Where I'm from, Massachusetts, is a lot safer because when you're riding your bike, car comes up behind you and basically just floors it, shoots past you like 60 miles an hour. It was right close to you because they don't want to go out past the line because they could hit another car. They come really close, and I've been ditched a couple times, but at least it's a lot safer for the people in the car. They get home a lot safer. But I do think that's safer. So other things are say no to garage nails. Make sure you scrape your moss. You all have moss on the sidewalk. Scrape that moss off, and change your habits. So it's very, very, very safe. I do a lot of safe things. I play hockey is probably the safest sport. It's very safe. I don't even wear glasses when playing hockey. Oh boy, that smells so good in there. It smells so good. I love the smell of the locker room in hockey. Everybody knows that. In hockey you don't really need to be able to see clearly. You have enough equipment on that you can run into people and it doesn't really quite matter. So everyone in Portland, make sure you leave here and you're very safe. You watch where you're going. You need to always carry a little flashlight. Make sure you're walking around. You point that right in front of you so you don't hurt yourself. And have a great evening. Thank you.
Mark Berman, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Berman. I'll need the microphone back and say, thank you, Mark Gurman, ladies and gentlemen. Well, now I'll tell you what I learned in Boy Scouts. Nothing safe about that, I'll tell you. There was a coiled rope involved. One more time for Mark. And I hope you're better. Too bad you weren't here before that accident. Because who wants to be hit in their unclassified area? Yeah. I hope you're good. What is this now?
They have my QR code on the inside. They're still sterile though.
What?
My QR code is.
That's
wrote
so
the
you
QR
can officially
code on
change
the
your
Band-Aid,
name.
resealed it. It's still sterile.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Yeah. Okay, so what did we learn, class? I love the wet and dry part. That was my favorite thing, because I always mix those up. Solid, liquid, gas, right? Okay, That was great. I always learn a lot because it's different every time. Andrea,
Yes.
this is Mark's partner, Andrea, not Andrea. And do you feel safe at home? That's good. Now, does Tom live with you guys?
No.
Okay.
No!
It's visiting.
He's what?
Visiting.
Oh, visiting from where?
Asheville.
Asheville. Well, thanks for flying in. Oh, Asheville, North Carolina? I thought you meant Ashland, Oregon.
No.
Whoa, that was a little judgmental. No. No Hamlet for me. That's dangerous. Oh, from North Carolina? Yeah, good for you. We allow red staters occasionally, but you have to leave soon. Okay, Mark, one more time for
He
Matt.
brought all the water with him.
Yeah, evidently. Asheville's a very nice place. Performed there many times. I love Asheville, North Carolina. All right, are you ready for our next performer, ladies and gentlemen? Aaron? Oh, Aaron's got it. This guy is fantastic. He's first class with me. He's just so naturally funny. He never slips on wet or dry material. He's a very solid performer. Please welcome Stacy Melnick, ladies and gentlemen. Stacy!
Thank you, Carl. Thanks, everyone. Wow. Oh, thank you. Wow, this is a great audience. You guys are doing great tonight. I really enjoyed this. You know? I haven't felt this welcome since my breasts, let me tell you. I just hope this has a happier ending. You probably noticed I am on the older side. I was the oldest one in my class. I'm 51. To give you a frame of reference of what that means, in dog years, I'd be dead. I joke about 51 being old, but the truth is I know it's not that old. I recently read an article that they think the first person to live to be 140 years old is actually alive today. Yeah, I'd like to meet that guy and punch him in the face. Dating, I don't know if there's anyone else my age who's dating. It's rough, isn't it? I mean, it's really hard because I go on these dates and you know how there's some people you meet, they don't look you in the eye, they don't know how to tell a story, they have body odor, you're just like, I know why this person's saying no. Anyway, at 51, I feel like I've been on more than my fair share of first dates where women describe me that way. I mean, they're nice about it. They don't say it to my face. I read it in the police report afterwards. In the dating apps, they don't really work for me that well because I'm working with this, and I know what this looks like. I look like a high school math teacher that spends 10 minutes every morning crying in his car. It's okay. And if the woman scrolls down, they're going to see unemployed nurse. And unemployed nurse plus this does not add up to sex, let me tell you. It's rough. I'm hoping that adding amateur stand-up comic to my profile makes a difference. I know it's this cliche, but kids today have it easy. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember if I wanted to see naked people, I had to set my alarm for 3 a.m., sneak downstairs, turn the TV on with the volume all the way low, and hope I saw something before my mom called me. Nowadays, kids just have to say, Siri, show me boobs. But I had it easy, I had cable, and there were a lot of kids I went to high school with that didn't have cable even, It was rough for them, because they had to go in the library and sneak peeks at National Geographic. I was talking to one guy I went to high school with, and he says he still gets a hard on every time he hears the theme music to Black Panther. I do like the streaming services, though. They have those parental guidelines at the beginning and sometimes it says there's going to be nudity, and I feel nostalgic. I admit it. The 13-year-old in me gets kind of happy. We're looking forward to something. Sometimes it says graphic nudity. That's when I pour myself some scotch and get ready to enjoy myself. But they're tricking us now, Sometimes it'll say nudity and there's no nudity at all. And I'm looking. And that's not fair, That's not fair, because we're looking for it. They're telling us it's there, and we're anticipating it, and that's what the 13-year-old in me gets sad. And I say, Siri, show me boobs. I stopped working this year. I'm a nurse practitioner, but I've never really felt passionate about it. I mean, it's my second career, and helping sick people is nice and all, but
That's nice and all.
it just doesn't compare to the joy one feels when you're building computer software to help wealthy people avoid paying taxes. I do miss being a nurse practitioner, though. There were rewarding parts to it because, I actually had a job where I was going to people's homes. I was going to people's homes who were too sick to get out to see the doctor. Maybe they were frail or they had dementia. And that was always very rewarding because it was so easy to steal from them. So now I spend my time doing what I love. Anonymously correcting people on the internet. I'm happy to say I've been banned from the Republican Party subreddit, the Democratic Party subreddit, and the Ask Math subreddit. That last one's not my fault, though. People need to stop asking why they can't divide by zero. You just can't, okay? Sorry, it's a bit of a trigger for me. Hey, I don't know, have you guys done genetic testing? I don't mean the Maury Povich, who's your daddy kind. I mean, like your lineage, kind of where you're from. Because I was always really curious about that. I was wondering what it would say about me. Because, for example, I like pizza, so maybe I'm Italian. I like to ski, so maybe I'm Swiss. Sometimes I'm an obnoxious asshole that doesn't know how to run a social media platform. Maybe I'm related to Elon Musk. So I got really excited about this. So I went and took a sample, I mailed it in, I waited 4 weeks, I got an email, and the email had a link, so I clicked on the link, I went to the tab, and that's when I found out that I'm a Jew. 100% Jew. I'm a goddamn purebred. I'm like one of those stupid little dogs that can't breathe right. And the irony behind it is the only thing Jewish about me is that the end of my schmeckel's been cut off. So, if we have any older people in the audience that would like Jewish grandchildren, I'm available for stud services. Here. So now, this is the exciting part. We actually had to fly this in from Sri Lanka, this special mic stand. This is why you pay $5 a ticket. I don't know how many people, I don't know what you guys think of the Teslas. I don't know if you guys like them or not. I never used to be a fan. I thought they were fairly overrated, but then something happened to me recently, and it completely changed my mind. I was driving down the road, and I had to merge left, and I ended up cutting someone off, I kind of had to, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and it's someone driving a Tesla. And now here's the thing about the Teslas, is that they have a self-driving feature. So that you can actually take your hands off the wheel while you're driving. So this woman, while she's driving, was able to take both hands off of the wheel and give me the double finger. Doesn't this look wonderful? I mean, don't you want to be able to do this? I mean, just think about it. You're able to drive safely and still fully express yourself. Just think of the possibility. Someone turns while using their turn signal, give them the double finger. Someone's driving too slow, give them the double finger. Someone tries to divide by zero, give them the double finger. And I think Tesla's missing out on a great advertising campaign. Buy a Tesla. Some people don't know you're an asshole. I want to take a minute to just thank everyone. It's scary, it's hard. We go through this class and everyone's kind of terrified coming up here. It's as you can imagine. You always wonder. Am I going to be funny? Am I going to be as funny as the next person? Is everyone else going to be funnier than me? And I'm the same. But I started taking the class and I said to myself, no, it doesn't matter. None of that matters because in the end, I know in my heart that compared to everyone else, I have the largest prostate. Thank you, everyone.
Stacey Melnick, ladies and gentlemen. Stacey! Oh my God, that prostate joke sent a lot of people to the bathroom, didn't it? One more time for Stacey. Stacey, God. My dad was Jewish and Gary's mom was Jewish, and so my joke was together we're one Jew. Thank you for that. Be twice as safe in Germany, but there's some math involved. I don't know if that's true or not, but but then it's about 4 or 5 years ago we did the 23andMe, and it actually came back. I'm 48.7% Ashkenazi Jewish, and Gary is 51.3, exactly 100% Jew. It was unbelievable. So what I'm telling you is take these jokes seriously, ladies and gentlemen. This is real shit we're doing up here. Dry, powder, all that shit, it's real.
It's real.
All right, are you ready for Jeff O'Malley, ladies and gentlemen, our final act tonight? And you have been a great crowd. I've heard these bits as they've been developed over the last 8 weeks, and I still love to listen to all of them. This guy, Jeff, I always introduce him by saying, of all the hundreds of students I've had here in the past 3 years, he wanted to be a comedian more than anybody, from probably when he was a fetus. Please welcome Jeff O'Malley, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for that resounding intro, Carl. Carl knows that I'm a school teacher by day and a wannabe comic by night. How do I get less respect? Right? I don't know, like professional gambler or something, or a slot jockey, or maybe. It's kind of a rite of passage for comics to talk about their appearance, And let's just get this out of the way right now. Right about here, little Robert Downey Jr. maybe, okay? I get that from time to time, right? There's some Iron Man in that goatee, huh? But take a close look. From here to right about there, it's a lot of Elon Musk, all right? Yeah. Who would have thought the richest man in the world and I can both afford the same haircut? Yeah, I'm pretty sure with all of his great wealth, he's going to great clips, okay? Yeah, he's got $7 billion in cash and going, I'll have the number 7, okay? But let me let you behind the curtain a little bit here, okay? Because he and I are doing the same trick. If you notice, both of us have this tight fade on the side here, okay? It's because we're both trying to mask a condition we have called fat head, all right? Yeah, we're really doing it, okay? Which is kind of funny because this tight fade is just really exposing more of our fat head, all right? And it's really a stupid solution that we're trying to fix here, right? Because it's no different than if I was trying to hide my belly by pulling up my shirt, okay? Because the shirt's the problem, Not too long ago, I was kind of trying to figure out, why do people try to connect celebrities to like regular ordinary people, Like, why do people think, like, hey, that guy looks like Elon Musk, I looked it up. It said that it's either to make a connection or a compliment, all right? I think in my case, we can eliminate compliment, all right? He's pretty unattractive, isn't he? I'd say, actually, empirically unattractive, right? And if you don't agree with me, let me take you through a little thought exercise. Imagine Elon Musk with no clothes. Ooh, right? Yuck. And no money. Okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Checkmate, right? Yeah. Suddenly all those billions kind of masked the fat head here, didn't it? And it kind of happens a lot, you know. Not too long ago, a person actually approached me and was looking really hard at a long time and just thought, I think he actually thought I was Elon Musk. We're both in a dollar store, by the way, okay? That is not a store for future trillionaires. That's a store for current teachers, is what that is. And he approaches me and he says those magic words, you know, do you know who you look like? And I say, Iron Man, all right? And he goes, no, all right? Iron Man didn't deserve that. And he says to me, Elon Musk. And in that moment, I realized that all of these interactions end the same, right? It's kind of akin to like a missed high five. He wants to deliver information to me. Oh, Elon Musk. I have to receive it. Oh, but he's ugly, you know? And then he moves in on me, right? And I always end up having the same thought. I hope a bus runs you over. I said earlier that I'm a teacher of I'm a teacher, but I've been teaching for 28 years. Yes. Oh my gosh, I hear the love and feel the sympathy. All right. Yeah, 28 years, and I would just like to make a little bit more money as a teacher, you know? Not a lot, just a little, so I can achieve my dream of one day becoming a good tipper, all right? Yeah. I like to be able to kind of like openly tip and just let everybody see, you know? But instead, I live in the shadows, okay? Yeah. I have to sign the piece of paper, put the tip on there, and then I fold it. And then I push it in, you know? Hope it's competitive. Like a silent auction, you know? Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not a bad tipper, okay? I'm not a bad tipper. I'm more what I call a precise tipper. Yeah. I mean, I try to give 20%, right? But no smile, 19%. I take a point off like an Olympic judge, okay? And don't get me started on them keypad recommendations, right? Have we all seen those? 30, 25, and 20%? Do you know how much it pains me to take the time to hit the button that says custom? Uh-oh. There's some precise tippers in here. I freaking knew it. From the fingerprints. All right? So I was gonna say, 300 million tipping Americans and that button's just for me? All right? No. I bet we'd all be hitting a fifth button that just said, you did a good job. My friends and family, they're generally fans of my comedy, you know? They like that I do some observational comedy, personal comedy, and $5 comedy, all right? Yeah, ooh. But 2 weeks ago, I had a show that was $20. Yeah. And the jokes didn't get 4 times better. It was terrible, right? I mean, because you want to know why? I'll be honest, because quadrupling is hard, all right? I was at the counter, and the person next to me was like, $20 for Jeff O'Malley? How much is it just for the punchlines, you know? And I'll be honest, I got a little hurt. You know, I turned to the person, and I was like, all right, hey, listen up. We don't talk about daddy like that. Yeah. Son of a... Hey, earlier this month, my wife Connie and I just celebrated 20 years of marriage. Yes. And she's very supportive of my comedy. She really is. Especially when it's free. Okay? Yeah. She's like my comp ticket for every show, all right? Which made me figure out, okay, that my wife Connie can do 20 years with me, but not $20 for me. All right? I mean, don't get me wrong. She's got a great sense of humor. It's just that if she's gonna pay for comedy, she wants it from Netflix, okay? And you know what? After I started doing comedy and telling jokes around the house and stuff, I was like, $16.99 a month? That's a good deal, all right? Those comics are good, all right? And they can probably tip like 30% and stuff. A lot of people say, you know, you don't look like an O'Malley. And that's because my Irish Catholic dad married a Japanese lady. Yeah. And growing up, I never really felt like they understood each other, you know? No, literally, they didn't understand each other. Because my mom doesn't speak English, okay? It really, I'll be honest though, it really made for a tough time, you know, because the communication was really poor. We were all very emotional, you know, and there was kind of a lot of screaming and crying, all the way up until my parents told me to stop. You know, but I wasn't the only one unhinged emotionally, you know, like my mom, you know, when the times were really tough, she would, like, in front of the kids, threaten to kill herself. Yeah. And earlier this year, when she turned 90, I finally learned that she's not gonna kill herself. The window for that threat is kind of closed, all right? The real threat now, actually, is that she's not going to die. But they were married, you know, for 50 years. Yeah, 50 years. And they worked it out the old-fashioned way, by ignoring each other. Okay? Who would have thought that what would be grounds for divorce now, 50 years ago, was the best way to stay married? Okay? Yeah. I mean, which kind of made me even think, what was it like to be like a marriage counselor back in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, right? You could just say, oh, hey, okay, great. Have you guys tried ignoring each other? Oh, fabulous. What? You guys don't speak the same language? Oh, you'll be fine. But like I said, they worked it out for 50 years. Nearly divorced 50 times, right? But they made it to the very end with the process that I call DBD. dying before you divorce, okay? Oh, there's some older couples in here like, oh, he doesn't mean us. Right? Like I said, my dad lived to 80, okay? Died 10 years ago, right before the papers came, all right? So now he can ignore those papers for eternity, you know? It wasn't easy growing up mixed race, you know? I mean, I never really felt like I was accepted by the Asian kids or the white kids. It was always something they didn't like about me, you know? Like the white kids, you know? I'd never seen a group of people, this is 50 years ago, by the way. I'd never seen a group of people so afraid of sushi, okay? Yeah, nowadays, kids are slick, right? They understand, like, cultural foods are delicious, you know? But my good friend, when I was young, he would never, ever, ever eat the food that my mom would make for us when he came over. It was very sad, you know? And one day, my mom made a wonderful spread. It had like an egg pancake with green onion on top and a side of pork. And to him, this was green eggs and ham, okay? Yeah. Sam I Am didn't like it, and neither did Steve, you know? And my Asian friends, I'll be honest, they were worse, okay? I mean, they were so studious. I mean, they spent all their free time trying to raise their grade point averages, okay? While I was busy being average, all right? I had a friend who worked so hard and studied so much that he eventually became a tech executive in San Francisco. Yeah, okay? But the story ends kind of sadly because he actually worked so hard and studied so much. He now works for Facebook. I think I'd rather be me, okay? Teacher comic, all right? But you want to know who's a fan of mixed race couples? TV commercials, yeah. Have you guys seen it?
Yes.
What a thinly veiled ruse to try to increase market share amongst cultural groups, right? The other day I was watching sports and I saw a commercial that actually had a white dad driving, a black mom navigating, and 2 Latino kids in the back. Eating ice cream. And don't get me wrong, diversity's fantastic, but all in one Toyota, you know, seems like a bit much. You know? Ooh, what's actually super creepy in those very same commercials, in the back of that SUV, there's always a purebred dog, you know? So weird. Right? And the purebred dog's got to be thinking, this is strange. Because my parents look exactly alike. All right. This is the off-script portion of the show. Many of you guys know that I like to tinker and mess around with impersonations, you know. And I'm going to do some ones that I know I do well and some that I've been kind of messing around with. All right, here we go. We're going to go with, we'll go with a mixed bag here. Marge Simpson, Mike Tyson, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. Some new ones here. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Bruce Lee, DJ Khaled, and Charles Barkley. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Try to stay with me. I actually wrote a bit about the election and the impersonations, but the election didn't go the way I thought, so I had to throw. So, worse than the results, I had to throw away material. Okay, here we go. Here we go. See, my voice has like a gravelly voice, and it goes low, and it goes high. It depends on what I'm saying. Isn't that Mike? Now, listen, I'm the baddest man on the planet. I was once the heavyweight champ, but I got this voice that goes up and it goes down. It depends on the kind of mood I'm in. Isn't that right, Bill? Now, my voice is kind of gravelly, but I got like a little southern drawl, and my voice is kind of back here in my throat. I like throats. Yeah. So, my voice is not that hard to do. Isn't that right, Barack? I have long pauses, I talk, and then for effect, I speed it up. And that's how I end up sounding really, really, really bright. Isn't that right, Donald? I really don't do much of anything at all. I just kind of like say things like, things are amazing. I look down and I kind of go, isn't it amazing that I have an amazing hand? And I say, I have an amazing hand. This is amazing. Isn't that right, AOC? Now, my voice is really high, and I talk about things that are really deep. And then I say things like, you better be ready, what's coming. So I talk about deep concepts with a high voice, and I just end up sounding like the smartest 6-year-old around. Some AOC fans are having trouble. I'll be impressed if you know, did I say Bruce Lee? I want to do Bruce Lee. I'll be impressed if you know what a 70s martial artist sounds like, okay? And Bruce is very philosophical. He has a voice that sounds like water. And I move around where you got to use your body and your mind. Isn't that right, DJ Khaled? I don't even know who DJ Khaled is. Okay? I just know that my son was telling me that he's like super famous, so I watched some videos. This might be rough, but here goes. Another one. I don't even say things. I just blurt things out like I want another one. Like I don't want water. I want their Gatorade. Bring out their Gatorade. And I got a green suit. That makes me think I look like Gumby. I look like Gumby. I don't know if you've ever seen him do that little dance. The one I just did right now, it was kind of amazing. All right? It was just like it, to be honest. Take it away, bring out Charles. Now, hey, listen, Charles got like a southern voice like this, where he talked with a lot of lip, and then he says, wait a minute, there's an Asian guy in Portland trying to sound like me, the round mound, the rebound. Man, this guy. I hope I sound like those people. Thank you very much. I'm Jeff O'Malley, everybody.
The best Charles Barkley, Jeff. Did you know who that DJ guy was? Yeah, of course you did. Fucking youth. Fucking hate the young. Eat the young. Eat the young. I'm fucking old. All right. One more time for Jeff. That may be the best $5 show you'll ever see, ladies and gentlemen. You think so? All right. And I want to invite everyone up for one last bow. Give them all a big round of applause. Kristen Luchin, ladies and gentlemen. Kristen, come on up! From Oregon, not California. Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. Jethro Rosen. Alice Carrier. Alice. Ask her about drugs when you fly. Phil Moore, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Moore. Mark Furman, your safety expert. Come on up, Mark. Stacy Melnick, 100% Jew. There he is. And Jeff O'Malley, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff O'Malley. Take a bow. Come on. You know, I'm so proud of all these performers, and they are comics now, not just students. It's very hard to do this, especially for the first, second, or third time in front of family and friends. They've really graduated into a new career, I think, and we all need this right now more than ever with the world the way it is. One more time for all of your performers. Our pleasure, PortlandComedy.com for all the events here. Signing up for classes. Thanks for coming out. PortlandComedy.com. Good night.